Greetings, geeks. Welcome to episode 543 of Geeks in Space. I am Rob Commander Takumalda, and I am here today to pretend that I am in low Earth orbit with two of the greatest geeks you are ever going to meet. Did you guys just hear my messages beep?
No.
Nope.
Okay, Rob Roseboom.
Hello.
And Chris DeBona.
Beep.
I got the notification beep telling me that something changed. Like, there was a Chrome update, and now Chrome is, like, notifying me all the time about anything that's happening in any tab.
Oh, boy.
And then here's the thing, and I don't want to turn it off because there's a couple of notifications I like. Anyway, all right, let's see what's going on in the news today. Rob, you shared with us a supermarket, I think, that opened up in in the Ukraine?
Yeah.
Wait, what happened in the Ukraine?
They're opening up a Grand Theft Auto themed
that was a great story.
grocery store in the Ukraine because it's
'Cause why
weird
not?
what cultural things people like internationally. You know, say what you will about the United States policies and everything else, but man, everyone loves our culture, right? Everyone loves our media. So
Yeah.
We love it.
I honestly, I think this is fantastic. I mean, look at this. Is this a butchery? A place you get sandwiches? It looks like mezza. Who cares? It's awesome. You know?
I wish they leaned in a little farther. Like when you walked in, like there's just like a weapons rack.
Yeah.
You know, and like you're
And
like,
if you can club somebody and steal their shopping cart and get out of the store, it's yours free. You don't have to pay for your groceries.
I
That sort
don't
of
know
thing.
why you're assuming there isn't a weapons rack. I mean, it's the Ukraine, right? And I think that, you know, their shopping cart acquisition rules are very similar to Grand Theft Auto. So, you know.
yeah, I think that there's a dude in a trench coat out in the front. Like he's like, you want to buy some artillery?
And you think
Artillery.
people get worked up about not putting a cart back in the cart corral here? I mean, yeah, it's serious business over there.
I like that. It does kind of seem weird to me that the dominant attribute is that font.
Right.
That font is you can put that font on literally anything. That actually would be a fun project for Jake and Elon to superimpose that font over random things and see what you can turn into Grand Theft Auto with merely the addition of that font. We have several space-related stories.
We do.
First off, did you guys manage to dodge Elon's freaking space missile that was trying to shoot us all down again?
Are you talking about the crew capsule?
Oh yeah,
with
I'm
Baby
talking
Yoda
about
on
the crew
it?
capsule.
Look, there's Baby Yoda floating. He's
That
so
was my
cute.
other story. They brought up a Baby Yoda.
I just think that's really sweet. Look, this is so funny. I love this picture of the crew. They're just like noshing out, having a snack, you know, chilling, you know,
With your 0G Baby Yoda, like you do.
Yeah.
like you do.
Although it would be more fitting if they were eating some sort of endangered creature's eggs.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't know. Do you really want genocidal egg farts in a spaceship? Just saying.
I mean, you don't want them, but
Sometimes
You
you
know.
gotta have them.
you have to hurt for your art sometimes.
Over the weekend, I watched a documentary making of The Abyss, and they talked about how much time they had to spend in wetsuits. And the general comment that they had was just like, look, if you are in a wetsuit for more than 5 hours, you pee. And so every day, at the end of the day, there are people who've been sitting in a wetsuit for 12 hours, and you basically just have to hose out all of their urine suits. So I guess what I'm saying is if you're going to fart endangered genocidal Yoda eggs, maybe that ain't so bad relative to peeing in your spacesuit.
Was it John Glenn who had to pee on a spacesuit while sitting on the pad to take
Yeah.
off on the Mercury or earlier Apollos? Yeah.
I imagine it happened a lot because those dudes would sit in those things for, a whole day.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think it's that sounds like it would be irritating onto the nether regions.
Yeah.
Inflamed. The other Space. Well, they launched on Saturday or on Sunday. I watched that, which was cool because I made my children stop watching whatever random YouTuber they're watching in order to see like actual things happen. And then last night, like after I went to bed, they docked. So that's cool. This was, I believe, the first time that 4 people went up in a capsule.
Cool.
We've sent up 3 or 2 or 1 in capsules, and we've sent up more in space shuttles, but never 4 in a capsule.
Yeah, that's kind of neat, you know. That's why I noticed too. I was like, "There's an empty seat and a dude and 2 dudes and a dude down here. That's exciting." And what is on his leg? Is that like a? They all have things on their legs. Is that like a control pad or no? It's their lunchbox.
Oh,
Oh,
that's why they keep their
cool.
juice.
Their juice.
Yeah, they need juice. Otherwise, if they don't get their juice by 3 o'clock, they get cranky.
Oh, what? Maybe it's like a French dip, and they have au juice.
Oh.
Au jus.
Yeah.
Let's see. Well, the other space story that I was seeing was NASA's. You know, NASA has a thing about. I guess during every presidential administration, we have to pretend like we're gonna have a moon mission, and like, this definitely happened during Clinton, right? Like I definitely remember, and I definitely remember a Bush and an Obama. And a Trump. Like, so this is like
Everyone stands up. We're going to go back to the moon, not because it's easy, but because it's redundant.
Yeah.
So anyway, the particular flavor of this story was about how they're going to put a nuclear reactor up there, which is going to be fine. And this is how they should totally do it. But they're not going to do this, right? Like, we can't even, like, keep our humans on this planet safe.
Well, you know, it seems like the problem with adopting a Rickover style plant from like a submarine is a submarine uses ocean water to cool said plant, right? So radiating the heat on the moon is the hard part, right?
You can't just blow fans.
You can't just blow fans in a vacuum, right? So that said, you know, are they just going to like do a super RTG? You know, because that's fine, you know. But what I thought about when I saw this is the reality of any of the plans to get to Mars, you have to have a nuclear power source.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you don't have any other options. You're not taking extra diesel with you, you know, or you're not going to want to use like any of these propellants. And they talk about like cracking water to make more rocket fuel on Mars. That takes a huge amount of electricity. So it's like they have to have a nuclear plant on Mars, right? So I figure maybe this is their first step to do that. You know, otherwise no one's going to Mars, you know. Hate to say it.
Also, this is an important first step. If eventually we want to drive the moon around, you know, remote control.
Exactly.
We'd like hit comets out of the way, or if we find alien life, we just send the moon to crash on their planet if they don't do what we want.
Well, you know, I mean, those lunatics.
Yeah, I'm kind of worried because Bruce Willis is getting up there, and my understanding is he is our last, best, and only line of defense.
I mean, I know there'll be some effects on the tides, you know, and like weather, but you know, in the long run, we'll be driving the moon around. How cool is that?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, we don't really need it. You know, tides are for, you know, people who wear wetsuits.
That's true. That's disgusting. Oh, hold on. I've been sitting in these pajamas for more than 5 hours now. Hold on.
Oh, Ruprecht, stop that.
I'm the grossest human alive. That's very far from true, but it's definitely how I feel today.
Yeah, there's way grosser.
Oh, COVID is going to be cured by mouthwash? Cool. That's way better than vaccines.
Yeah. Well, it'll be like a minty fresh medicine is my guess. Or do you have to bathe in it? So this is the thing. I only noticed this shortly before we went on air. It has the potential to reduce the levels of COVID-19 in a patient's saliva.
Yeah.
Do you drink it? Do you bathe it? Do you inject
it? No,
you
just
do you go full Trump and inject the
shit? You just gargle with it, and then for a small period of time, the COVID load in your saliva is reduced. So, you know, maybe you have to have constant spritzing to help.
I'm just picturing like people walking around with IV bottles full of this stuff and just
Yeah, or
yeah.
maybe when you get next to someone, some sort of aerosol is produced around you to make it cloud.
Like when you walk through the mechanical doors at the grocery store, they just mist you.
Yeah, like that.
Gross.
Exactly.
I don't approve. But there are, in theory now that the election is over, there are 2 vaccines developed by the Trump administration. As
You mean by Dolly Parton?
As promised by our president, Dolly Parton. Dolly Parton.
No, Dolly Parton was. She has a COVID foundation that was one of the funders of the Moderna effort.
We've talked about this before,
save
but
us all.
Dolly Parton is the bomb. Like, she's the
Yes.
coolest lady in the world.
She is a goddamn national treasure.
She is.
She is into so many things you wouldn't think she's into. Yeah. I mean, wasn't she like a silent producer of Buffy too, or something like that? Yeah. Just wow.
She's a producer on Buffy. She gives millions of dollars so kids can have books. She intentionally opened a theme park, her Dolly World theme park, in an area with low employment so that those people would have jobs. And her cover of Led Zeppelin's Stairway to Heaven is awesome and maybe better than Led Zeppelin's.
She's the best.
And I mentioned it before, but if you have never read about her relationship with her ex-husband and the rights to her music, it's a very interesting story. And
did somebody wrong Dolly Parton? Is that what you're telling us, Robert?
He absolutely wronged her. And even after he wronged her, he fell in hard times, and she's like, I'll sell them back to you.
Yep.
So you can have a little bit of money.
Wow.
Just a great person.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Humiliatingly
good. Yeah. Humiliating. What, you feel bad about yourself because she's so good, Rob?
Exactly.
Yeah. Exactly. You're like, I am way more petty than you are, Dolly Parton.
Yeah, she's a neat lady.
Have you seen, what was the musical that she was in with Sylvester Stallone? Because I think that's loosely based on her story, and it's a terrible.
Was it Code Many Colors? I have no idea what it was, but
Rhinestone Cowboy.
Oh, Rhinestone Cowboy.
Was that it? Dolly Parton, Sylvester Stallone.
It wasn't Sylvester Stallone though. It was
Rhinestone.
the Saturday Night Fever guy, John Travolta.
No, it's Stallone. Rhinestone.
Are you sure?
I'm looking at the IMDb page.
Rhinestone Cowboy is a song.
Yeah.
Rhinestone is a movie.
Rhinestone.
Yeah, Sylvester Stallone. Yeah.
And I have seen this movie. It's a How Did This Get Made movie, and it is terrible. I have a little bit of a fun preview for The Thing tomorrow night. I've been watching it with the 13-year-old.
Right.
And we had to stop halfway through, but he's actually into it, like the analog effects and everything. Like, it's the first time he's ever like seen something old school and like been like, this isn't stupid.
Yeah, I actually watched the original and the remake as well, just to sort of see this weekend.
Who was starring in the remake?
Wait, there was a remake of The Thing?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. 2011.
Why? Was it Dolly Parton? Because if it was Dolly Parton, I'll watch it.
No.
Enthusiastically.
No. Nobody you'd recognize except for the wildling leader from Game of Thrones. I can't think of what his name is now.
The woman or the man?
The man, the guy with the red beard.
Oh, Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
Oh, she's great.
She's in everything, and she's good in everything.
She's good. She was so good in Fargo, man. Did you see her in that? Wow.
You know, man, was she in?
She was in Cloverfield Lane.
Castle Rock. Was she in season 2 of that?
I don't know.
Scott Pilgrim, man.
She's in Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah.
Famously.
Yeah, she's in so much good stuff. Really good in Cloverfield Lane.
Yeah, she was great in Cloverfield Lane. I think she's one of the best actors of our generation. So.
All right.
Well, the next generation, because we're old,
Yeah, no, she's not our generation, dude. Bad news for you.
No. Yeah. Well, I mean, is it bad news? I mean, it's okay to age, right? I say.
I bet she's close.
Mary Elizabeth Winstead? Dude, no way.
1984.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Crazy things are happening.
Uh-oh. I hope that the good kind of crazy things. Let's see.
No, it's screen sharing. It's acting weird.
Oh. There's going to be another Transformers movie?
Yeah, they're going to reboot it again.
Of course there is.
I liked Bumblebee. They should have just keep going with Bumblebee, man. So.
I have a suspicion that because Bumblebee still had a Michael Bay producer credit, like the production load for those movies has to be really big because Steven Spielberg was a producer on the first one, and you got Hasbro. Like, there's a lot of hands in that pie, and I have a feeling that maybe if you reboot, you can pull some hands out of that pie.
I don't think so. I think it's going to be that Hollywood thing where all the hands stay in the pie. They just add more hands, and they think it's going to fix it.
Well, like Jon Favreau, like his name is on credits of like every Marvel movie, like as an executive producer for his role in Iron Man. Just like if you mention Iron Man, Favreau's going to get an executive producer on that movie, and he's going to get $500,000 off of it.
Yeah, and he's saving Star Wars with Mandalorian, right? I mean, who else is going to fix that thing?
I would truly love to be a fly on the wall for one day and find out what the true story there is. Yeah. But this is, I think I've said this before, Dinner for Five, that Jon Favreau hosted dining show, made me hate Jon Favreau with a holy passion.
Why?
Because he's the biggest celebrity kiss ass I've ever seen. Like watching him just kiss up to famous people, like made me cringe in a way that just, ugh. And like I get it, but it made me think less of him. Also, Cowboys vs. Aliens is a terrible train wreck of a movie.
It's a bad
and so is
it's just Daredevil.
Zarathustra is like he's got like a lot of bad movies, and like the Jungle Book wasn't very good, and the Lion King was a phone it in effort. He's hit 4 or 5 really good hits, and he's struck out a lot.
Come on, man, Mandalorian though. I mean,
but this is my question.
Literally saving Star Wars. That's
maybe he walked in and the ILM guys had been developing the stuff for his Jungle Book and his Lion King and all of that. So he's got that in his back pocket. And Dave Filoni had plot lines for Clone Wars and stuff in his back pocket. Like, we'll never know the truth, right? But man, I would love to know the truth.
I don't know. There's a point where you have to kind of give someone credit.
For sure.
And the thing is, I'm like you. I don't know if you ever saw the Actors Studio or any of these like entertainment television programs that are just like, I mean, slobbering all over celebrities. It's awful, man.
Even talk shows are kind of like that, right?
I can't take it, man.
For sure.
And also, I don't want to know my actors. I want to know them as, wow, she was a great actor in Cloverfield Lane. I don't care if like she's secretly like a member of Gwyneth Paltrow's weird goop society. Right. Literally, knowing what I know about Gwyneth Paltrow rips me out of the fun of an Avengers movie.
I've said that before. I think I've said that here. Yeah. When Gwyneth Paltrow shows up in her stupid suit during Avengers, it pulls me out of the moment to just hate Gwyneth Paltrow.
It's really true. And it's like, what is she doing in there with the actual, like, frankly, superheroes? It's like,
she got a suit in Iron Man 3, I get it. But she hated the suit.
But she didn't keep the whole extremis or whatever, in her. So it's like, well, you know how I feel about the whole Iron Man suit thing.
I understand.
They should all be tomato paste.
You're angry because you want your own Iron Man suit, and you're very mad at Tony for not sharing it with you.
No, I don't.
Come on, Sergey, give me your suit.
Oh, that was something we didn't cover, did we? They slapped a ducted fan onto a wingsuit guy.
They got him to go fast.
And they got him to go fast, and it's like, I'm like, so I thought that but then he had to use a parachute to land. So I'm like, okay, I get it, but is this really that? I mean, yeah.
Well,
So you got
there was, what was that, a month or two ago, where it happened on two different occasions. People were spotting people way the hell up in the sky with
LA.
jetpacks in
there's
LA.
this guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I just yeah. Anyway, long and short of it is, I don't ever watch the talk shows. I haven't for decades because I'm like, I mean, I watch the monologues; those can be fun. But it's funny. Do you remember before COVID, we were talking about the monologues and how I was like, these audiences are too easy on like Stephen Colbert and the
For
rest.
sure.
They just laugh at everything,
They're primed.
and it's like COVID's been great because it's forced them to like say, okay, does this work without an audience, without a prop?
Yeah, when
basically?
your audience is a Zoom camera,
Yeah, it's
you
been
got to have way better
fantastic.
material.
Yeah, no, it's really true. Otherwise, it does not work, right?
It's
And
been-
you saw some flummoxing around, but it's been good,
Well, I think the only one that I watch with any regularity still is John Oliver, and I really like that how stripped down that show has become, like lean and mean, but also
Yeah.
that we were talking we were talking, Chris, you and I were talking yesterday about like the production costs of a YouTube series, and like you could do a talk show for the cost of how long it sits you to sit in a chair.
Aren't we doing one right?
Yeah.
now?
Kind of.
We are, let's say, 30% of the production value, but each 10% of production value has like it's like a decibel rating system where it's like exponential cost, because once you get to like the last couple of deciles of production, you're talking about like, well, now you need a studio audience and 10 cameras, and like that's the stuff where it's stupid.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Well, also John Oliver's show is a little bit different than other talk shows, right? Because there's no guest. It isn't dependent on an audience really, so he doesn't have to change a whole lot. The network talk shows, late night ones, and sporting events are really the ones that are really interesting to watch now, just to see how different they are. Because there's some NFL teams, for instance, that pipe in crowd noise while people play now,
Yeah.
and some that don't. And it's interesting to see when you're in a stadium that's completely silent except for what's going on in the field. It's weird.
I watched maybe 3 baseball games this whole season, and the first one that I watched had crowd noises piped in, and I was just so like, it's an uncanny valley thing, right? You're seeing empty stands and hearing crowds, and what you realize is that they've been probably juicing these crowds all along, and because there was a real crowd there, you just were unaware of it.
Bastards.
I hate them. I hate them because their reality is different than ours.
So scroll down 2 stories below this Transformers reboot, and you'll see the greatest story of the week
2 stories below the Transformer reboot. Okay.
in the discussion channel.
Oh,
and the channel.
Short Circuit?
Yes.
Oh, I'm putting it in the zone, man. I'm zoning this.
It's
You're gonna zone
happening. And they're going to, because the old one was so
Wait, what?
racist, now they're adding, aren't they doing a Latin storyline?
Yep.
It's being
Yeah.
rebooted as a Latinx family film
Yeah.
with Eduardo Cisneros and Jason Schumann. Is Schumann a Latinx person? Anyway, okay.
So
That's all we got. That's all we have. Deadline. Let's go to Deadline. Short Circuit remake. Dude,
that movie, eventually one of us is gonna pick it for movie night.
I know.
Well,
Well, the good news for
boy.
you guys is I feel like our next 4 movies probably have to be Christmas movies, right? We should discuss this, because I think
I'm not that religious.
if we each want to get 1 Christmas movie, then we need 4 weeks. So I think we kind of have to start for Thanksgiving.
I mean, maybe.
Well,
1986 was Short Circuit. I just typed in popular 1986 movies.
I have watched that movie so many times, and it has your girl, Ali Sheedy in it. I mean, come on.
Oh, who doesn't like Ali Sheedy? Oh, Highlander was in '86. Oh, that's a great movie.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Well, I get to finish
Black
watching.
Moon Rising. Boy, I've seen that movie too many dumb times. That's a dumb movie, but it's about a car, basically. Yeah. Anyway, let's keep going. Sorry, I'm getting
Why haven't we watched
distracted.
Maximum Overdrive yet?
Oof, because it's terrible.
It's great. I think that was the only things that we had left on the zone for the week.
What?
I know. It's like I said, man.
I thought we had yammered about some others. Oh, Servo. The not the thing in Short Circuit. But
The Gumball
Servo,
Machine from Mystery Science Theater.
Tom Servo. Yeah, no. So Servo. I have so many windows open. The rendering engine at Mozilla Project that got cut during their big layoff.
Okay.
It's moved over to the Linux Foundation.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's nice.
I hope that means that includes salaries for people.
Yeah, that's the thing I'm not clear on, because typically the Linux Foundation doesn't hire developers. They're a project home. They're not an employment hub.
Right.
So I guess we'll see.
I mean, if we're talking about super techie things and we want Rob to glaze over his eyes for a couple of seconds.
I don't think that's fair to Rob.
Rob doesn't care as much about like the 5800 XT and the M1 specs.
Yeah, we were talking about this yesterday before things started, so that was...
Well, there's new M1 specs. New people are testing it now, and it's friggin' fast. The laptops, the Pros and the Airs are basically identical, except one has the smaller one has one fewer cores, and the bigger one has a fan. And there's a better screen and everything, but they're basically computationally very, very close. And they are dusting a lot of systems in a lot of cases, and they're like neck and neck with the AMD 5950X in some cases. So that's, I mean, it's interesting, and I'm a big fan of anytime anybody dumps more power on users. I'm glad that we've waited for a decade of Intel, and we finally get to have somebody clean their clock.
Challenge them. So that's the thing. Until those laptops are in people's hands, like until Steve tells me it's true.
Steve doesn't do Mac stuff.
Yeah, but he'll profile a Mac to get the numbers.
He'll do like that pressure map thing on the CPU that we look at. I'm like, what? Thanks. I'm really glad that this is flatter than the other one. I'm sure that helps.
Well, so the most interesting thing about chips nowadays, in my opinion, and you're seeing this in the latter day AMDs, is the whole big little thing where you have your powerful chips and you have your efficient chips.
Your cores.
It's nice.
That's the thing about the M1 too, is that it's got the ice cores and the fire cores, and you can have some of your cores running when you need power and some of your cores needing when you want to stay on battery. I mean, I say things like this and I actually truly mean it. We're getting closer to that point, where is it Asimov? All technology before you were born is normal. Before you were 20 is normal, but like after 40 is evil. There's like a saying for that.
No, I've heard it.
But we're getting to the point now, like we're definitely in the point now where I see stuff and I'm like, that is magic. When I see like RTX ray tracing in a video game that's holding up at 100 frames per second on like a 2K display, I'm like, that is magic. I know the math that they're doing. Like I understand that is computational voodoo. And like I feel that way about the multi-core, like the hot cores and the cold cores. Like, it's crazy that we do this now.
It's I don't think it's crazy. I think it's really neat. I love the idea of having an adaptive clock across chiplets. I mean, it's kind of brilliant, And the first people to do that was AMD, I think, or I don't think it was Apple, No, I'm trying. It might have been Samsung. It was one of the ARM licensees, right, who did it first. So it may have been Samsung. It might have been Qualcomm. But yeah, the whole idea of Big Little. I mean, it's really neat, And I'm glad to see it's hitting Intel. I'm glad to see it's hitting the Apple laptops. My question is all of the performance games simply because all of the memory is on die?
That's a
And
piece of it.
you know,
There's
and will basically this accelerate the x86 adoption of like DDR6 with multiple paths? And I don't know.
It won't, because anything related to like DDR6 and all that, that's in a roadmap document on some Intel executive's PowerPoint presentation, and
It's not though.
they are gonna like, well, that's gonna be in 2026. Like they know that stuff, and they've estimated it out. You need a couple of times a generation for somebody to come in and freaking do the thing where
Wipe the floor with people.
they yank the tablecloth off the table, and whatever vases tip over, you throw away.
Yeah, I really worry that Intel cannot recover. I think AMD can. I mean, and this is the thing. So NVIDIA is using DDR6 in the 3080, 3070, and 3060 and 3090 series. So the memory is being produced by Micron and others, right? So honestly, AMD just is going to say, okay, as part of the 590 chipset, we're going to allow DDR6 access, or the 591 chipset, And AMD is going to have to iterate on their interface. The AM4 is going to have to become AM5 as part of this. But yeah, it's fine. But I do want to see if the M1 delivers performance, or if it caps out if you open 2 Chrome windows or something.
Sure. See, I need confirmation that one program that I require on my Mac runs. At which point I'm gonna get the little one. I don't need a laptop, but I'm gonna get the little one.
The mini or whatever.
Whatever that one is, because I have a monitor sitting right here, and I have all the keyboard, and I like the way that I use it, and I don't need a laptop in 2020.
The other side of this though is, are you buying a machine that you'll be able to run what you want on?
Well, and that's the thing is,
Apple is tightening down on OS X the way they did in iOS. So you're not going to get someone else's web view. You may not be able to run OBS. You may not be able to run these projects that aren't going to go through their.
You're going to be able to. Yes. You'll be able to run OBS. You'll be able to run a lot of stuff, but it's going to be different. I only care about literally the one program that I need.
What's that?
Quicken. Because they're the Quicken port to
Windows.
Well,
unless Quicken pays 30% to Apple, maybe you won't be able to use it.
Well, they have made no effort to lock down the Mac ecosystem at the same level as they have the iOS one, but they will.
Yeah.
They definitely will someday.
They definitely will.
The Radeon cards, they all got unboxed earlier this week. So who the hell cares about that? But you can see where they fit. But nobody's allowed to have specs yet, and I think those come out later this week officially.
Yeah.
Then...
Is Steve doing his tests? We only care about Steve. He's the only one we can trust.
Steve. That's right. All hail Steve.
He's going to make a case, I guess. That's exciting.
That's what he was talking about. I don't know. Here's my problem with this. I don't need a GN branded case. I care about a case that is functional. But I actually like my case. I have the O11 Dynamic XL, and it has on it a Republic of Gamers logo, a Leanne Lee logo, and a Dare Bauer logo. It has 3 separate...
Bauer?
Yeah, he's an overclocker YouTuber that you'll see if you look around for 2 seconds. But it has 3 separate sets of branding on it, and I want none of them. Someday I'm just going to get in there and take a razor blade and like scrape off the paint. But I think one of the logos is etched into the glass. I don't want logos on my case.
Where did you buy this from? Some like fan shop?
No, it's just just Google Leanne Lee 011. It's Steve even recommends it. It's one of their higher performing.
But I'm sure it's wonderful.
It's one of their higher performing cases, Chris.
Well, this is the thing. You're not buying a Steve case because it has Steve's name on it. It's because Steve has confirmed the thermals don't stick.
Right.
I mean, it's yeah.
But that's the other thing too. I feel bad. Like they're like. I would love to buy their little mat or whatever, or their cups, but I don't need any of that crap. I'll buy, you make a product that I need, I will buy it right now. I have like 6 different sound devices scattered throughout this room. Like I will buy it, but don't cover it in gross branding. That's the thing I don't like. And that's one of the reasons I think that I still kind of like Apple products is, for the most part, you get one friggin' logo.
And the Apple logo, and that's it.
Yeah, and you don't have, like, you install Windows and you've got all this crap on your screen. You buy a Windows laptop and it's covered with stickers for the 37 different partners that each contribute. It's gaudy. It makes me grumpy. And Chris, I don't know if you're on a different camera or something today, but your camera looks really good today.
Yeah, no, I'm using the Brio 4K, and I tweaked the settings a bit so I don't look nearly as, rictus morose or whatever.
Your beard hairs are identifiable individually.
They're beautiful.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Beautiful. Yeah, and I'll figure out my background here soon enough. I just, moving, man.
Well, fix it for the thing, man.
Yeah, I'll fix it for the thing.
All right, let's say goodbye. We'll see tomorrow night. We'll do the thing.
Yeah.
That sounds kind of gross.
Let's do the thing together. You, Rob, and Rob.
It's gonna be a 4-way thing.
You, Rob, and me. Ew.
We're gonna play Starfish if we can get one more.
Starfish?
Well,
Starfish.
Well,
That's a weird sex thing.
Someone has to be the clam.
I don't want to be the clam.
The first rule of Starfish.
Last time I was the clam. I didn't like it.
We'll roll die 20s to see who's the clam this time.
That seems only fair. I'm going to bring out my weighted D20. All right. Thank you, Chris DeBona.
Thank you, Mr. Malda.
Thank you, Rob Roseboom.
Yep. See you later.
This has been episode 543 of Geeks in Space. I'm Rob Commander Takamaldo. We see you tomorrow, 8 o'clock. We're going to watch The Thing.